Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. Today we are going to paint a peony flower with acrylic paints. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a size 0 round brush. Let's paint the center of the flower first. So I'm going to take this red color and let's put that over here in the center. This is a vermilion red, which has a little bit of an orange undertone to it. And then I'm going to take this medium yellow color and just start putting that in along the red little lines, and grab the sketch in the description below so you can paint along and use that guideline of the sketch for where to put these little lines. Then let's take the light yellow. So it's just going to act as sort of a highlight. So you can just make little dots, sort of dashes there. Okay, so now let's work on the stems. I'm going to use a flat brush for that. Let's take a 9 flat brush, and I'm going to mix a darker value of green. Let's do that by taking the hooker's green and the black and mixing them together. Okay, and then I have some black on the right side of the brush and then more green on the left side. And let's see if we can just kind of curve that to create the leaf. So I think we have a little bit too much black, so I'm going to try to add a little bit more green to that. And then let's put some down here along this leaf here. So let the brush do the work, and you're just sort of pressing down and then lifting up to create the point. Okay, we'll do that to this leaf over here, pushing down, then lifting up. Then I'm going to go around the edge and sort of shape it. Okay, grab more paint. I'm going to grab a little bit more black and create that shadow for the leaf. And then let's do this one over here. Okay, so now let's take a 0 round brush and put in the stem. So I want some darker color to be up at the top. Then I want it to get lighter. So I'm going to pick up some paint with just the hooker's green on the brush and try to bring it down. Okay, and then we'll do this leaf here and just sort of connect these. Okay, so now let's take this green light color and I'm going to put that in as a highlight. So I'm just putting it along maybe the center of the leaf. Put some over here, maybe along this center. So just put that in sparingly. And you can blend it in some areas if it's a little bit too intense. You can go back and add some of the darker color on top just so that it blends in. Okay, so then you want to let this area dry completely, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the pink of the flower. So now we're going to add the pinks of the flower. Let's take another flat brush. I'm going to use a size 11 And let's put in the dark colors first, the dark values. I'm gonna take a little bit of this maroon red and dip it on one side of the brush, and then take the bright pink and dip that onto the other side. And then let's work on where the shadow values are. So we're gonna come down in this area here, and you can sort of wiggle the brush and then just sort of blend it upwards. Okay, I'm going to load the brush again, both sides. And then let's do this flower here. So I want the darker color to be towards the center of the flower. Then we'll load the brush again. We'll do that same thing to this petal here. Load the brush again. Then I'm going to bring it over to this one. And then over here. Just try to follow the sketch as best as you can. So this is sort of the inside area of the petals. You can sort of wiggle it. And let's do this area. I'm going to reload the brush, putting the dark and light pink on both sides. And then let's add a little bit of color here, just going around the bottom of some of the petals. Okay, this one is light here. And let's bring some over to this petal. And over here. Reload the brush. Then I'm going to bring some up in this area. And then over here. Then I'm just going to put a few little darker marks around some of these petals over here, just using the edge of the brush. Okay, so then we'll switch brushes and we'll use another flat brush. This is a size 6 flat. So now we want to use the lighter colors, and let's pick up, so I'm going to mix some of the pink. Let's mix it with some white so we get a lighter pink value. And I want that to be on one side, and then I'm going to pick up more white. And then pick up some of this purple and try to load that onto the other side. Okay, so these are going to be sort of shadow colors because that purple is going to be sort of a shadow. And those are usually going to be underneath on the bottom. Okay, so I'm just wiggling that brush. So let's get some more pink, then purple, and the white. Okay, I'm going to bring this along this side here. So I'm going to wiggle that brush, try to get a crisp edge. And then this area here, let's add that over there. So it needs a little bit more purple. So you can always go back and add more purple onto the brush if you need to. So purple and white on one corner, and then pink and white on the other. And then the lighter color you want facing the top. Okay, and then sort of wiggle the brush and bring it down. Okay, purple and pink. And then let's bring that around this corner, or rather into the back. And these petals in the back are pretty light, so we'll just put those in Just wiggling the brush. Okay, let's do this one here. So we're gonna get, now let's actually switch to this lighter pink color. So we'll put this light pink on one side and then the pink mixed with the white on the other. Then see if we can bring that around. Okay, and then we'll do that with this side. So I'm going to take the light pink on one side and the medium pink on the other. Just see if we can create a petal. Light pink and then medium pink. Let's bring this down. Okay, light pink and medium pink. And then bring this petal over here. And then we'll do the light pink and the medium pink. Start working on some of these petals. Again, we want the lighter color to be at the top. Okay, and sort of wiggle the brush to create those petal shapes. Take a medium pink and a light pink. And then bring that over there. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's pick up some light pink and some white. And see if we can use that to add a few highlight petals. Just kind of finish up some of these little shapes. Okay, so try to cover all of the paper. And now let's come back and do some highlights. So I will take a 0 round brush and we want to use some white paint for that. And then with the white paint, you can go with the tip of the brush and just bring out some of the edges of the petals. You can sort of outline some of them. This creates a nice highlight and makes them come forward in space. Just think about the ones that you want to stand out, probably just in the center area where your focal point is. Okay, so you can go back and work on this detail, put as much as you would like, highlight anything that you really want to stand out, but try not to highlight everything. Mainly focus on the areas that you really want to pop, which would be in your center. Okay, and we will call this painting complete. That is how you can paint a peony with acrylic paints. Thank you so much for painting along with me. And if you want to dive deeper into painting, check out my full program linked in the description below, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.